Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First flag, it's Ian to throw first. Game on.
Well, the crowd expects, but the question is whether Mensur Suljovic can deliver. He's already been on stage this evening, Mensur. He was on stage with Roby John Rodriguez. A little thank you to the Austrian crowd before play got started this evening. Little sing-song. Maybe just an opportunity to settle Mensur down. He looks fairly composed, he looks fairly calm out there, but in the back of his mind, he'll be, I think, pretty eager to secure this first elusive title on Austrian soil. He has already beaten Ian White on Austrian soil in 2014 in the Austrian Darts Open. Second round match by 6 legs to 3.
Yeah, beaten him a couple of times in the Euro Tour, a couple of times at the World Grand Prix, beat him at the match play, European Championships and the Players' Championship finals. Ian has won 5 games against Mensur, but they've all been in those Pro Tour events in places like Barnsley and Wigan or the City West in Ireland just before the World Grand Prix gets going. And
they did meet in the Pro Tour in Hildesheim fairly recently, right at the start of August as well. In fact, they met
consecutive days,
1 win apiece as well, so that doesn't really give us too many clues.
Yeah, tight as well, 6-5 to Mensur, 6-4 to Ian White, so it's a tight game. They're right next to each other in the world rankings.
Yeah, 9 and 10. Austria's number 1 against Stokes number 1. Number 7 seed against the number 2 seed as far as this tournament is concerned.
And Ian White, having seen off Keegan Brown this afternoon with relatively little bother, it was a 6-2 win. He did say, look, I've played Mensur plenty of times. I hope that the crowd give me a fair crack and we can play some good darts. He appealed to them to go easy on him. Now, Ian, he has suffered with the crowd on occasion. It does get to him as he looks at treble 19. No, it's 15s he went. He doesn't get it. He will leave himself double 8s, but whether he gets a go at it or not is down to whether Mensur can pin the 1-2-4 checkout.
I think of all the host nations or all the venues on the European Tour, I think Austria is the kindest. If you are playing an Austrian on home soil, you'll get a better deal than if you were playing a German on German soil. I thought they treated Mike de Decker very well today against Roby John. Double 8 though for Ian White. Not too many cheers greeting that one.
Deathly silence, wasn't it? But look, Ian White managed to take out 3 Dutchmen in a row in the final session of action to win the Dutch Darts Masters, his first Euro Tour title, the back end of last year in Maastricht.
And he's already beaten an Austrian this weekend as well. He overcame Rusty Jake 6-1 in his opening match yesterday. Rattled in a few, well, 4 180s to be precise in that one, 97 average.
140.
Before beating Keegan Brown earlier today.
'96.
Vincent van der Voort awaits the winner of this one.
Mensur looking at the 19s. And leaves himself 1-3-2, but Ian White will still fancy his chances here. Because that 1-2-1 is an easier check out than the 1-3-2. Starting on the ball for the gentle. 57 leaves the bull. He can't get it.
92.
Surprised he's gone that route. I mean, he leaves himself top to treble 20. He would have left double 14, but the diamond wants 51 and bull, and he can't get a shot for the leg either.
97.
I wonder whether Mensur will split this to set up the double 14. You never know with Mensur what he's going to do. He has gone the orthodox route and he has found double 20. And we are level at 1 apiece. That would have been a glorious piece of showboating if Mensur had done that, by the way. I mean, he's got this reputation with double 14, and it's well deserved as well, but he is a very versatile player when it comes to finishing. He's fairly comfortable in most quarters of the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost got to the stage with Mensur on double 14. If he's going for it, it's almost a sign of weakness because he's going there because he's a bit nervy. And I think in his early PDC days, he'd do everything he can to he'd just keep on going there. But he's become so successful, so confident, moved so high up the rankings. Doesn't need that security blanket anymore. But if Ian White gets going like we know he is capable of doing, Mensur might go running to that double 14 at times, because there'll be some must-hit shots.
140.
Now then, big visit here for Mensur. And the crowd might start thinking about the opportunity for a break of throw. However, first two darts suggest it won't be a big visit.
60.
And he's not even left himself a finish.
164.
Well, no need to go for this. He should be looking at 60-60 in a single 12. Now, well, I'm never sure.
97.
He's got a treble, so he's chipped away at it, but he may only get one dart for the leg. Mensur could look at the bull.
100.
Gambled. That means he'll only get one dart for the leg if he's allowed back.
Beautifully played for double eights. Beautifully found for a 2-1 lead. And beautifully spotted as well by our guest spotter this evening. Now, we had Mark Webster in the commentary area yesterday for a couple of matches in the evening session on day 2. And right now, the man dictating the camera, the man zooming in on that treble 20 bed as Suljovic fills it up, is none other than Kyle Anderson.
The original.
Proving his versatility.
59.
Man who had a look like he was going to win the Austrian Darts Open in this very venue 3 years ago.
4 perfect darts for Suljovic, but that's the extent of it, although he does find another one. 180, 140 to start things off here for Mensur.
$99.
Well, it is almost universal support for Mensur Suljovic, the Austrian #1 here in Vienna, as you would expect.
Yeah, these Austrian fans have never had it so good, with Roby John on the way as well. He plays Peter Wright in our third quarter-final. MVG and Ricky Evans rounding off the quarters later.
81. Mensur car 121.
I may look at the bullseye first up. Is that the route for Mensur? It is. Treble 13 now. Beautiful stuff.
89.
Well, no damage done there for Mensur, with White on 262.
Mensur car 32.
A tap on the shoulder from Ian White. He's left to finish. Probably doesn't matter though. And it doesn't. Because White hit him with a 14-darter and Mensur Suljovic responds with one of his own. Good standard in this game. 100 average for Ian White, closer to 105 for the Austrian #1 Mensur Suljovic, who has never won in Austria. There's always been a game somewhere along the line where he hasn't performed to his capabilities, but here he is stepping up. 96 average in his opening game against Adam Gaulas, this incredible 17-year-old Czech Republic lad who only started playing 6 months ago. 102 almost against James Wilson, and he's upping it again.
140.
Yeah, Graz last year was his big chance, I thought, for Mensur to get that Austrian title, or PDC title, on Austrian soil.
44.
when he did play Ian White in the Austrian Open in 2014, their first meeting that Mensur won. Mensur was a qualifier for that, host nation qualifier.
Yeah, times have changed significantly since then. Mensur now one of the big beasts of PDC darts. Champions League winner, World Match Play finalist, European Championship finalist.
Premier League player. And a man who has to be considered for every tournament he enters. As White gets his nose back in front, it has been nip and tuck from the word go. Mensur has not led in this one, but he's continually getting back at Ian White every time Ian White tries to just open up a little bit of a cushion. Tariq, his son, watching on. Suljovic here as well.
Diamond White looking pretty comfortable up there. Doesn't seem to be biting with any of the crowd noise or anything. Quite happy to see this game trading holds of throw, and he should be, because if it just carries on, he wins it 6-5.
Yeah, in a way, I think Ian White will be happy with where he's got Mensur Suljovic right now.
But you know, as we said, they played each other twice 3 weeks ago in consecutive days, and the games went 11 and 10 legs. They were close. You're expecting this to be a close game. Ian White is not expecting to come out here and blast Mensur off the board, and I'm sure Mensur isn't thinking that that's going to happen either. And at times, their averages, both of them have seen their averages touch 105, and it's not as if they're able to bully the other one because they are standing firm. Real good quality game of darts here.
Yeah, the average is very, very strong indeed. 103 for Mensur, 106.8 for Ian White right now. And this might just maintain the average for Mensur as well.
Yeah, nothing wrong with going the 16s route from there, particularly with Ian not on a finish.
Yeah.
Mensur requires 16.
13 darts are on the cards here for Mensur. Another strong riposte after falling behind for a third time. But once again, for a third time, he's clawed his way back to parity. And Mensur just cannot be deterred here. He is just right on the coattails of Ian White.
It's just high quality. It's been high quality from the word go. The first leg was a 16 darter. Everything else, 13, 14, 14, 11, 13.
Well, nevertheless, that might be a pivotal moment because Mensur has a lead of 80 after 3 darts apiece on the White throw, and if White fluffs his lines again here, it might make things a little bit more interesting.
It has, because now Mensur knows this is a massive opportunity to get the break of throw that he will need if he is going to carry on his charge towards the Austrian Darts Championship title.
Yeah, he really wanted a treble there, and that's why he's so disappointed. He's got a lead of 100, but it could be, or it could have been, so much more. Once again, the first dart goes astray.
84, thank you.
But another sub-ton visit for Ian White, and that again might just give Mensur something to work with. Maybe just guilty of trying too hard here, Mensur, but he has found a treble with his second dart, but not with the third.
It's getting to the stage in this tight game where if Mensur Suljovic throws anything into a big treble, he gets a cheer. And if the crowd are getting into that mode, then they'll also get into that mode of trying to distract Ian White. We've heard a few whistles for the first time. Raise of the eyebrows for me, and now the crowd did not even register, or didn't seem to, for Ian White for the first 6 legs of this when he's playing well, but he's had an off leg and all of a sudden he's aware of them.
59.
And that's just, it's the same when you're playing with an injury. You're playing well, you don't notice it. All of a sudden something goes wrong and it's like, oh, that's starting to hurt again.
Yeah.
It's just basic psychology. And he's got to try and focus and put it out of his mind.
16.
Yeah, everything suddenly becomes a big irritation, and Suljovic is still just about in control of his own destiny here, especially now. 82 away.
Where does he go? He's gone the most difficult route.
102.
But it is a route that means that he will get 3 darts at a double unless Ian White takes this out. He's not going to, and this is a massive moment in the match.
85, Mensur 40.
Ian White is 2 darts away. Mensur Suljovic, however, is 1 dart away, and he's got 3 attempts at it. And he only needs the 1 dart, and there is the first break of throw, and it goes the way of the Austrian #1. And the crowd really have found their voice now. Big moment.
Game on.
And that really all stemmed from that really sluggish start for Ian White. He only scored 100 points with his first 6 darts in that leg, and Mensur was able to make the most of it just about in the end.
Ian White needs to hit back. And he needs to hit back hard. And he needs to hit back now, because if he is pushed 5-3 down by Mensur Suljovic, then it just heaps even more pressure. We saw the value at the World Match Play, didn't we, of keeping your opponent more than 1 leg away from victory. Dowell Gurney looked like he had the win sealed up against Rob Cross, but he needed 2 more legs, and as Cross started to mount his comeback, he always knew that there was a little bit of leeway there, a little bit of wiggle room.
121.
In the end, he won 8 legs on the spin, stole the victory away in an unlikely manner. It was Dimitri Vandenberg. No, sorry. It was Roby John Rodriguez who did for Dowell Gurney this weekend. And we will see Roby in our next game, but how long will we have to wait?
100.
Some 40 here for Ian White, puts him in charge.
Yeah, that break of throw is only really worth its weight in gold if you can back it up. And Ian White has found a ton 40, and once again there are anxious murmurings among the crowd.
Well, he took out 100 in 2 darts for an 11 darter in leg 5. If he can repeat the trick, in fact, he takes it in 2 or 3, it does not matter. Ian White will level the match up and become the favourite again. Mensur Suljovic is poised. But Ian White doesn't care, because Ian White does hit back with an 11 darter. That is class when you need a top leg against a top player in a pressure situation. That is superb.
Especially as Suljovic had got himself into position there as well. An instant break back for Ian White. 4 apiece.
100.
And every sign that we are going all the way in this one. 2 11 darters for Ian White there. 1 the break of throw, and 1 a very important hold of throw as well.
100.
Well, there's
60.
barely anything between them. There hasn't been a great deal between them all game. The averages have been going up from sort of between 98 to 106 for both guys right the way through this match. Slight fluctuations, but good quality all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, the one area where there is a slight difference is the checkouts. 4 out of 4 for Ian White, 4 out of 7 for Mensur. If White's getting the opportunities, he's taking them, and that may well prove significant in the long term, in the final reckoning, because he's got that confidence when it comes to finishing the job.
Yeah, most of those ones, he's had darts in his hand though. It didn't need to be 100%. He could have taken out in that visit, but they're going first dart.
100.
A, it looks good. B, it builds your confidence. And C, it makes your average look very, very decent.
And also, it doesn't give the crowd any opportunity to start making a noise.
And I think Ian will say himself, we saw at the match play where he had that agonising defeat to Stephen Bunting. We've seen it on the European Tour at times when he's lost tight games, and he said, if I miss that first dart and the crowd are going, then it's like I'm hoping. I'm not throwing him with any conviction. I'm just throwing him in the vague direction and hoping it goes in.
Yeah. Do not give the crowd an opportunity to play their part. That's the thing for Ian White. Well, look at this. 182 plays 181. White goes first.
16.
Thought he might have tried to use the bullseye there, because an extra 5
Yeah.
points would have meant he doesn't need to use the bullseye when he returns. He might not. Oh, Mensur, where are you looking? Where are you looking?
Careful,
61 left. Oh, that is superb!
Beautifully played.
In your goal, 23.
Oh, that's absolutely delicious from Mensur Suljovic, but Ian White isn't done with just yet. He's got the second treble 18 for double 7, and he has missed a dart at double. And what a time to miss one as well.
The
4
first-
from 4 becomes 4 from 5, and Mensur steps in and tidies things up and takes care of business very nicely. But that was all about the approach play by Mensur. That treble 15 gave him that extra room for manoeuvre, and he breaks for a second time. We've had 3 successive breaks of throw, and Mensur throwing first now for a 6-4 win and a place in the semis.
Well, he's broken Ian White twice in this game. He's broken him with 16 darters, and Ian will be disgusted with himself, because he has played high-quality stuff in this match. But those 2 times where he has blinked and he hasn't won it in 15 darts, Mensur has made him pay. And he has to do that hard work again. Can he produce another fabulous 11 darter? He might need one to save his skin.
That's a little bit awkward now. Hasn't moved too much,
97.
but he's switched very effectively. That treble 19, priceless for Ian White.
Not enough to leave a finish. Again, Ian White has an opportunity, but he needs to find 2 trebles minimum, you feel.
Well, he got down to 181 in the previous leg, didn't he? And then he pulled out that 165. Can't do it again, surely, can he?
Well, you'd think you know what route he's going.
He may just confound us all and produce another moment of magic.
96.
Just the one treble, but that's okay. Needs Ian White to not take out this 167, and the first dart goes astray. And Mensur Suljovic potentially 2 darts away from a place in the semi-finals here in Vienna.
Surely it's treble 19 for double 14. Surely. To take a step closer to the final. It's his favourite. But he cannot hit it. And once again, Ian White stares at a 1-2-2 checkout. He agonisingly missed it in the last leg. It looked like it might cost him, and he's missed it this time, and surely it will. Because Mensur Suljovic,
he's not even found an 18.
7 times he's played Ian White on a stage, 7 times he has beaten him. But the man who has been second only to MVG is a force on the Euro Tour this year. Is not yet done, because Mensur, unbelievably, has missed 5 match darts at his go-to double.
Wow, I mean, what odds would you have got on that? Anyway, Ian White, 20 for tops. That's a beautiful guide. And he can't make the most of it. And Mensur Suljovic, having missed 5 darts at double 14, will have 3 more opportunities to secure this place in the last 4.
Split it, Mensur. Give us a go.
6 for double 11, Mensur. Go on.
The crowd want it to find the mark. The crowd get what they want. Mensur Suljovic delights the fans in Vienna. The home city man is through to the semis and 1 win away from the final. The dream of an Austrian winner at the Austrian Darts Championship is still very much alive. There is still a chance it could be an all-Austrian final. Roby John Rodriguez is coming up in a moment against Snakebite Peter Wright. We'll leave you with a few words from Mensur Suljovic, who knocks out the number 2 seed, Ian White, 6-4.
Mensur, willkommen im Halbfinale. Wie hört und fühlt sich das denn an?
Ja, auf jeden Fall gut. Mein letzter Joker ist gekommen, zu spät leider, meine Frau. Aber deswegen noch besser.
Der finale Glücksbringer, danke an die Frau. Also für schwache Nerven war die Partie ja wirklich nichts. Wie geht's denn jetzt gerade deinen Nerven?
Absolut, war ein gutes Spiel von ihm, gutes Spiel von mir. Ich habe nicht nachgelassen, er auch nicht. Ich habe gesehen, beim 3-3 habe ich Chance, habe ich verpasst und wieder 4-4. Und habe gesagt, bitte, Mensur, konzentrier dich. Und Gott sei Dank 5-4, 6-4. Wow.
Und jetzt ist alles möglich, oder?
Jetzt gibt es nichts anderes oder außer alles.
Und wir werden dich ordentlich unterstützen dabei, stimmt's? Maybe just one question in English for the viewers of PTC TV. Mensur, what do you feel after entering the semi-final?
It's brilliant feeling. First time semi-final in Wien. I hope final, win, everything. I give my best. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, wir sehen ihn später wieder. Das ist dein Applaus, Mensur Suljovic. Einen Österreicher haben wir also schon fix im Halbfinale und von uns aus kann es in dieser Tonart gerne weitergehen. Und zwar jetzt gleich, jetzt kommt der Roby John. Bitte die Stimmen ölen, wir sehen uns gleich.